Check. Fair enough. I'm audible? No, no. To you guys, I'll be audible. These are for online. I'm audible. Can someone reply in chat box? Yes. So people can hear me. So let's start the class. Very good evening. So those who are attending only evening batches, my name is Shahid Hashmi. I teach economics for UPSC, and now I'll be also teaching for KS. Uh, I've been teaching from last 4 years. I've been on an academy and Byju's. Not for you guys. You are anyways know from the morning. These are for the other guys who have joined in the evening. So we'll try to finish economic as much as we can in this session. That will go on up to Thursday, and then we'll see what to do after that. If you look at economy as a subject for your examination, a lot of time we have this idea about economics that it is tough. It's maths, and maths we are scared. This is online, right? So we know about this that if it's about economic, it's about maths, and if it's maths, it is tough. First of all, very one forward statement. There is no mathematical problems or calculations or numbers in economy for your UPSC as well as your KPSC examination. Okay, whichever it is, Group C, proper right? Whichever it is, Group C, Group A, Group B, you do not have anything to calculate. Okay, clear? Then what is there? Simple definitions, simple understanding of the economy. For an example, what is GDP? What is GNP? What is demonetization? What is GST? Right? We all know about these terms. We hear it on the daily basis. Last week, the finance minister gave a budget, right? Then that's a part of your economy syllabus. Which sector got what kind of allocation? How to study that? Slowly, slowly, we will progress. And this is all there in your economy. There's nothing much of numbers and all. Although you may have to remember certain numbers in the economy. For an example, what was the GDP in 2018-19? What is Karnataka GDP 2020? What is Karnataka agriculture contribution to India's GDP? What is the contribution of service sector in Karnataka? Especially when you are writing Group C and Group AB exam of Karnataka government, you need to be very, very specific about Karnataka. They do ask questions, the data that are there for from your own state. The Karnataka economic summary, the Karnataka budget, which will anyways get presented soon. These are the things they'll ask more. So you need to have an overall understanding of the economy. So that will around 40% of the question, and 60% of the question come from your direct question of things that are happening within our own state. Okay, so let's first today's session try to finish certain basics of economics, right? Try to understand the things that we have never learned in our life, and then over a period of time, slowly, we'll also take questions, we'll also take data. And when I say you to repeat in the class, you have to repeat in the class. That's how my classes will go. Because it's not a mental ability class, right? Mental ability, what will you repeat? A square plus B square. There's nothing to repeat. But these are the classes that we need to see that when we study in the class, if we repeat that time only, the chances for us to retain in our mind are very, very high. Got it? Okay? Clear? Everybody. So let's first start with an idea of evolution of economy. Long time ago, when there were people who used to do this hoo ha dance, remember these days? We call them early human beings, early men, right? That time. That time they had no idea about the economy. What to do? I mean, go kill an animal, eat, sleep, right? That's all that the whole idea of that. There's no organized economy. Yes, sure how to solve. Okay, solve this issue tomorrow. You need to get a PDF reader in this. So after this hoo-ha, people slowly, the world progress, right? The economy progress, the system progress. People started realizing that we need to have a medium of exchange, right? And then came the first form of economy, what we call is barter system. What is the name? What is the name? What is the name? Barter system. Barter system means exchange system. Sir, I have tomato, you have potato. I will give you tomato, you give me potato. Barter system, right? And it went on for a very long time to a level 2021 in India. There are villages where you still find barter system being alive. It's there in small villages. People who grow for subsistence farming, right, for their own use. At a certain level, they follow barter system. They go to the ration shop. They'll tell, "Sir, I'll give you wheat. Give me a Rexona soap." It's still followed. What is barter system? System of exchange. What the goods that I require, if you have, and what goods you require, if I have, we will exchange. And this was the system followed for a very long amount of time, irrespective of the country, irrespective of the nation. This was a very common system followed called exchange. Even today we follow, right? So you have polity notes, I have geography notes. Let's exchange. Yes or no? We have done it in last UC classes also, right? In engineering also we have done. We have done this. Oh, you have physics, I have chemistry. Let's exchange. So we still do it, but in a very informal way. That time it was a very formalized system. But when I say about barter, there is one problem. The problem is called double coincidence of wants. What is it called? Double coincidence of wants. Too much English. Let's break it down. Double coincidence of wants. That means whatever I want to have should also be there what you have. Or else barter system won't work, right? I required potato. You have chocolates. What should I do? My want should also be there. Your want should also be there. That's why double coincidence of wants. That's the word mean. My wants, your wants, both should match. Make sense or not? Am I going too fast? Right? It's okay, right? Speed wise. Idea is that double coincidence of wants. Whatever I want to sell, you should wish to buy. Whatever you wish to give, I should wish to take it. Then only it will work, or else it will not work. That's why this system did not work for a very long time. It's still there, but this is the biggest problem with system. Tomorrow in KPSC, they ask you a question. Which are the following statement are true about barter system? Statement number one, barter system was a system of exchange of goods and services. True or false? Sir, today's service is software. That time service means, sir, I'll clean your animal, you give me chocolate. It's still correct only. I mean, don't imagine today's services where you have Shah Rukh Khan doing, you know, songs for you. That time service means, sir, I'll come to your house, I'll clean your house, I'll cut animal for you. In return, you give me 3 kg of rice. So it is a system of goods and services. In India, we call it Jajmani system also. Make sense? So first statement is true. Statement number two, barter system had an inherent problem of double coincidence of wants. True or false? This is what you mean by barter system. Why are people texting in chat now? Sir, voice not clear. It will get clear. Check, check. Let's try to understand little bit about double coincidence of want in taking an example. I want watermelon. You know watermelon? This much big it will come. And you have, I have sugar. I want watermelon, you have sugar. Watermelon size this much big. Sugar size this much. How should I exchange now? You got the idea. Watermelon is this big size. Sugar this much only. So can I give one sugar cane and take a watermelon? Rappanta will give me. So no. It doesn't make sense, right? That this is one of the inherent problem of barter system. I'll give you another example. How many of you have iPhone here? Rich people? No one? You have iPhone? Okay. She has an iPhone. I have an Android phone. Both are used for calling. Both can be messaged. Will she allow me to exchange that? What? Phone, right? Utility is same. Utility is same. But will she allow me to exchange? No, there is a value attached to that phone. It's a costly iPhone. We are a Gharib Dabba Android phone. So it's just not about utility. So if I want sugar, watermelon is sweet, I know, but I cannot exchange because there is a problem of unique mismatch. That is 1 lakh. This is 20,000. Utility may be same, whatever it is, but still it doesn't serve the purpose because of the change in that inherent value of that system. The unit match doesn't happen. So for that we invented money, which first came in the form of coins. Before coins, to be very honest, the first came in the form of stones. Stones. So people started exchanging things in terms of stone. And there are historical evidences that there was one big stone in Greece which people exchange. Okay, sir, you take this stone. I want cattle. And in return, I'm giving you that stone. That stone was so big, it never moved from its place. For 100, 200 years, they are exchanging on that stone. The stone is there only. But ownership of the stone used to give them that status. It's like you are exchanging something for Chamundi Hills. Chamundi Hills will remain same only. You are only exchanging everything. Right? So that happened. From stones came the idea of precious stones. Right? Then came gold, copper, and people started exchanging in terms of gold, copper. Right? And there was a value attached to it. There is this word called salary. You know salary? We all wish to have a salary. There's a reason we are studying. Let's be honest. Yes or no? PSI, KS, FDA, all that secondary. Social service secondary. First thing, we require money, sir. I mean, makes sense, right? The word salary has been derived from salt. Why? Because Greek, they used to pay their army in terms of salary. For 1 month you serve 5 kg salt. 6 months you serve, okay, 30 kg salt. And then this guy will go and take salt. We'll exchange salt for apple, chocolate, maybe whatever, lemon. So that's why from salt came the word salary. Today also we use the same word called salary. Words have a very unique origin. You should understand, right? It gives you that excitement to study. So that's why we went from precious stone to gold metal coin. There was this guy called Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Heard about him? Whenever any economic policy changes, they call it as a Tughlaq Farma. They use that metaphor. Have said, oh, this was a very Tughlaq policy. Why do you think they use it? Because this guy wanted to develop a very good economy, but whatever he did, it eventually failed. He came out in India with the first time copper currency. He said, let's start use copper currency. Very unique idea. But what happened? He couldn't control people printing copper in house. So people started printing copper in house. So that's why any policy that failed, government policy, we always call the word called Tughlaq policy. His all the policies drastically failed. He started the construction of Tughlaqabad. His idea was to help people. India got famine that time. People started protesting against it. So his whole life this only. It's like an IS officer who has cleared the exam, but whatever he does, it becomes wrong only. There are certain people like that in life. You meet them. So same. So what we are talking about is he started copper coin, then from copper gold, we came to printed currency in the form of notes today that you see like this. Then from notes, slowly we went for check. From check to credit card. From credit card to money wallet, e-money. It is there in your Paytm. It's not there in your app. It's there in your Paytm. Then from now we have the next generation of money in the name of cryptocurrency. What is it? What is it? Cryptocurrency is nothing but a digital currency. What is it? Digital currency. There is a difference between e-wallet and digital currency. E-wallet is your own money in Paytm, your own money in PhonePe, your own money in Google Pay. Cryptocurrency itself is a very different thing altogether. It's like a complete digital currency. And the technology on which cryptocurrency work is called blockchain. What is it called? So tomorrow if they give you which of the following technology cryptocurrency work, your answer will be one of the good example of cryptocurrency which is very famous is called Bitcoin. What is it called? Bitcoin. It's one of the common cryptocurrency that is right now available called Bitcoin. Any doubt? Are we clear till here? Right? People who want to invest in cryptocurrency don't invest. Why are they saying sound has a problem? Hello? Hello? Check cryptocurrency. Great. So, moving on to the next topic slowly. This for today you tolerate, tomorrow we'll make it corrected. There is no PDF involved install here, that's why it's creating a trouble. Cryptocurrency, I think this is more than enough to understand. Works on blockchain. It's a complete digital currency, right? It's limitedly printed. So let's not worry about it. Loan. What do you understand by loan? Loan. You have to tell common knowledge. What is a loan? Only bank? Money borrowed from anyone. You can call it as a loan. Loans, there are two types. One is called formal sector loan. The other one is called informal sector loan. Informal loans is the loan that you have borrowed from your friends, right? And we do this regularly. Acha, can you give me 100 rupees? Tomorrow I'll return. That tomorrow never came in life. Yes or no? You borrow from your, parents or your uncle. I used to borrow from my grandma because she had money, Next week, Pakka will give. She is already 90 years of old. I have never written any loan to her. But we borrow loans. These are informal loans. But it's just not about family friends. There are these money lenders whom you might have seen, right? They are, present in small shops. Dhanalakshmi Finance, Jhunjhunwala Finance, Aapka Finance. Now, Shriram is a farmer. Shriram is a farmer. What do you do? When you go and borrow money, they'll give you money. How much ever they want, they'll give you. But they are informal. No proper agreement. It's just word of mouth. You want money, you take it. Since I am giving you without any documentation, the interest rates are very high. During independence, when there was a famine, that means people were dying of hunger. In South India, money lenders were charging 4% per day. That is 40% in 10 days, 120% in a month. And money lenders today are still same category. These informal money lenders, when they give you money, you know how much they charge? 7%, 8% per month they charge. That makes 80 to 90% a year. Your bank charges 11% for an entire year. Informal sector loans, they charge 8%, 3%, 5% per month. You go to vegetable market, there are people who sell vegetable, daily workers. You know what they do? They take money in the morning from a money lender, buy tomatoes, and by the evening they sell off the tomatoes and return the money. For them, the money lender charge 1% per day. How much that comes out? 30% per month. 300% per year. That's why money lending is a kind of system that the government want to stop, which is informal. Because they're very bad. They're very bad. Ultimately, people eventually commit suicide only. Because sometimes they might have taken their entire principal also, interest also, and they keep on charging interest. And for you to pay the old interest, they'll give you the new loan. So new loan plus new interest plus old interest. And it goes on for life. Right? So last week, current affairs, it was there, right? In Hyderabad, two guys committed suicide because they started borrowing from online lending apps. Then the IPS officer investigated, they realized they are also charging like money lender. Okay, we'll see that later as a part of current affairs. So basically, higher rate of interest. Because it's a higher rate of interest, a lot of time when you want to return the money, your half of the money is gone only into paying back the interest. That's why farmer commits suicide in India. For farmer, this money lender charge 3% per month, which is how much? 30% per year. Do you think there can be any business that can give you more than 30% profit in a year? It's impossible. You will not find any business in country today which can give you 30% profit. So farmers eventually borrow thinking that they'll return very fast. They are not able to return. They'll take away their land, fame, shame. Eventually they have to commit suicide. Maximum suicide case in India by farmers is only and only because of money lenders. And this informal sector loan, they are a part of developing countries. In modern economy, it's US and all, it's very less. But since we are developing countries, poverty is high, agriculture is high, people don't know how to borrow. People go and borrow from this money lender and they come into something called debt trap. What is it? Debt trap. Be silent there. What do you mean by debt trap? I borrow, I have not been able to pay back. Again, I borrow to pay back the whole amount, and the new amount is pending. It will come to a situation where whatever I do, I'm not able to pay back the money. That's called debt trap. Trap, right? Debt trap. Debt again means loan only. What do you mean by debt? Credit also means loan. These are just different words for that same name. Debt means loan, credit means loans, debt also means loan only. Clear? Any doubt? Till here, so people fall into debt. Formal sector loans. These are the loans which are very formal in nature. That means you borrow from bank, Shriram Finance, Muthoot Finance, Manapuram Gold Loan, Dhanalakshmi Gold Loan, SBI, Corporation Bank. When you borrow from an organized sector, these are called formal loans. What are they called? Formal loans. These are all properly regulated. There are rules, there are regulation, there are documentation. You have to sign document. They have to sign document. They promise you to charge only 8% per year. They cannot charge more than that. You cannot pay less than that. Yes or no? Everything is documented. You promise, okay, sir, in 3 years I'll return. After you don't return, they say, okay, sir, we'll charge you extra fine. They won't send Hondas to your house if you don't pay back. Money lenders, you don't pay back, they'll take your kidney only. Yes or no? No? What, sir? Every day you start here, you'll get to know. One or two guys getting not in order up. Why? They've taken the money, they have not returned. So money lender doesn't follow any rules. Bank, they follow certain rules and regulations. They are regulated by RBI. So these are called formal sector loans, which has rules, regulation, everything. And that's why when you look at formal sector loan, formal sector loan, they are regulated. There is a proper documentation, rules and regulation is followed. To a level, they are not even supposed to give you trouble. They cannot call you and threaten you. Sir, if you don't give loan, we'll take your kidney. It's illegal. Formal sector doesn't. In formal sector, there are two important branches which gives you loan. One are banks, SBI, corporation, syndicate, IDBI, IDFC, HDFC. These are called banks. What are they called? Banks. Then there are other category, Manapuram Gold Loan, Shriram Finance, Dhanalakshmi Chit Funds, Muthoot Finance. These are called NBFC. What are they called? NBFC stand for non-banking financial companies. Non-banking financial companies. They perform most of the functions of the bank, but they are not banks. For you to have a bank, you have to get approval from RBI under Banking Act. NBFC you can start like a company also. NBFC, it can be for a particular sector. For an example, Shriram Finance. It is only for automobile. Muthoot Finance, only gold. Manapuram, only gold. Rupee, only gold. It can be for all the sectors also. There can be one NBFC only for housing, DHFL, Diwan Housing Finance Limited. Shah Rukh Khan comes in advertisement, अपने सपनों का घर बनाइए type. You've seen that advertisement, Shah Rukh Khan used to come. That is for housing or for other sector also. Understood? Difference between bank and NBFC. Bank have to be approved by RBI and have to take banking license. NBFC can start with a company also. Second thing, NBFC cannot take deposit from you. I mean, what do you mean by that is that NBFC have to take money. They, like for an example, you go, you deposit money with the NBFC, but that money NBFC have to keep in certain bank only. NBFC themselves, they cannot keep money. They are not allowed to take deposits. They don't have the permission to take deposit. You can deposit your money with an NBFC. You can say, sir, I have a gold. You please deposit it. They will have to take that gold, open an account in SBI and deposit it. They themselves cannot have a deposit account. Clear? Point number 3. Very important for prelims. 3 points. NBFC are not a part of electronic clearing system. We call it ECS. What do you mean by ECS? NBFC cannot give you a check on their own name. If they have to give you a check, it has to be an ICCI check, IDBI check, HDFC check, SBI check. They cannot give a check in the name of Manapuram Gold Loan because they are not allowed to do that. Because how can you give check when you cannot take a deposit only? Even if they have to give you a check, the money that they have to give, they have to go take an SBI checkbook, and in that SBI checkbook, they have to write, this is given to Shah Rukh Khan, 30 lakh rupees loan. There cannot be a checkbook of Manappuram Gold. That's not allowed. Okay, 3 points. That they are not registered as a bank, they are registered as a company, they are regulated by RBI, that is there. Banks as well as NBFC, they are regulated by RBI also, CBI also. Second thing, they cannot take a deposit, demand deposit. And third thing, there cannot be a part of electronic clearing system. Any doubt? Too much technical? Too much technical? Can remember? Easy, right? That's why I said economic is easy. And the beauty of economic is that if you remember it once, you need not have to revise it a lot. It's not like they remember when did India got independence, 14th August, 1947, 14th August, nothing like that. You know the concept, it's all over. It's like geography. What are the advantages of formal sector loan? First of all, there is no exploitation. They cannot threaten you, they cannot harm you. Interest rates are very, very low. Yes or no? SBI charges 11% per year. For us, 11% is also high. That is a different thing, but still it is 11%, right? Where is 11% per year? Where is 1% per day? You understood? Then if you don't pay also, there is a surety, there is a guarantee, there is an agreement. They go to court, you can reply in court, you can request for more time. There can also be a settlement. These are all there. So that's what you mean by formal sector. So tomorrow if they ask you, which of the following are category of informal sector? Friends, money lender, anything which is informal. You borrow from friend, money lender, trader, anything. Which are the category of formal loans? Bank, NBFC. Clear? Cooperative bank also come under bank only. Whichever cooperative bank it is. Any doubt? #21 is the last date for PSI application. Finish it off at least 10 days before. I repeat, 21st February is the last date for PSI application. If you are writing for PSI exam, do not wait for last day. Finish it off 10 days before only, because last days there are chances of server not working. And it's a one-page application. Very simple. You need to know your name. I'm sure you know your name. Write your name correctly. There are students who write their name also wrong. What can we do about it? If you write your name, in front of your mother name, and I'll take it your mother name will only come, and then nothing can be done. So write your name properly. The name that is there on Aadhaar. Don't write Chunnu Munnu Dinu. On a lighter note, I'm telling you, but sometimes there is a lot of difference of name that is there in our Aadhaar and that we actually write the spelling. So do not get overacting. Write what is there in Aadhaar in 10th marks card. 10th marks card should be your reference point always. Whatever date is there in 10th marks card, that is the final date. You might have born 10 years after that. Doesn't matter for me. For government, you are born on 10th marks card. Don't try to put a wrong date and on the day of document verification. No, sir, I was born 5 years before. He won't understand that. For your 10th marks card, date. So for your dad, for your parents spelling, everything follow 10th marks card. Fill up the form. It's a one-page form. If you are belong to certain category, click 2B, 2A, 2C, whatever it is. Right? Kannada medium. If you are from Kannada medium, click. If you have taken second language Kannada, that also you click. Although you still have to write Kannada exam. Translation is still there. But you need to have a proper, document application form, because they will do a verification once you clear the exam. Okay. Check. 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 Great. So, and then in application, you have to upload your photo, mask card, thumb, everything. Thumb is there. For that, there is a specification given. How much MB the file should be, what are the pixel, that and all you have to be, like you have to do it before you start the application. And at last, just upload it. In online, you can do it. Resize your photo, resize your thumb impression. Okay? Very careful you do it. One-page application, but do it in a, proper. All the document, like it's a very easy form. There is nothing much tough about. People who are writing KS prelims, you have to wait. I think the notification will come after mains examination, which starts on Monday for KS. So advantage of formal loans, they follow all the rules and regulation followed by the government. Interest rates are very less. No exploitation, right? Sometimes the formal sector loan they can be settlement also, full and final settlement. You can say, sir, I don't have 8 lakh rupees. Right now I have only 6. Let's settle it. They will allow that. During COVID, they allowed, right? How much ever you loan you had, 50% discount they allow. So that kind of system is followed. Money lender won't do that, right? Money lender won't do that. Sir, teaching is going out somewhat fast. Sir, what about FD exam? Why is asking FD exam? Okay, I'll slow down the teaching, but more than this slow. DSF Malur, is it proper now? Please check your internet connection because here it looks good. Please reply in chat box. Hello. Wazar Pasha, you have to check your notification. They have made certain changes. That will take it later, but as of now, let's take to the class. Chat box, can someone reply from DSF Malur? Is it clear now? Now it's good. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Now, debtor, creditor. The person who borrows money is called debtor, and the person who gives money is called creditor. The person who borrow loan is called, what happened? The person who borrows money is called, the person who gives money is called creditor. Tomorrow they give you an exam, right? Debtor is a person who gives money. Creditor is a person who borrows money. Full excitement, don't take. Think the one who borrows money, debtor. The one who gives money, credit means taking loan. That's a different meaning. But creditor and debtor also have a different meaning, so you need not have to confuse. Now, what are the kinds of loan? You have one called agricultural loan. In agricultural loan, you borrow for any farm. You don't have money to sow seeds, so you borrow agricultural loan. Then you have house loan. You want to construct a house, right? So you borrow a house loan. Then you have vehicle loan. You just joined the college. It's too hot, right? On it. Water. Water coming means you move from. Ah, what is this thing called? Remote. Sir, music competition, sir. Which intelligent guy has kept this AC on? There was no cooling only. Now it's getting cold. No, no, they kept it on 16 but without cooling. What will you do? They will go out only for that. That that thing you see, right? That ice symbol. It was not there for 16. That means it was not cooling. It was only giving you air. That toe is off only. Yeah, why fans are fan is there, right? Cooling is not there still. Click on mode. MODE. Aha. Anyways, I don't know. Now it will reduce. So then there are personal loan. You want to get married, you want to buy gold, you want to go for a Goa trip, you can also borrow money, right? So and then interest rates is defined on depends upon the bank. There is a base interest rate. Less than that, bank cannot charge. For an example, RBI said that the base interest rate is 9%. So anything can be more than 9. And that's up to the bank to make profit. But nothing can be less than 9. Why is that kept? Why is there is a base rate? Any idea? See, take an example, SBI. SBI is a very big bank. They can even give you a 3%. That way what happened, Chota Mota bank will get finished. IDBI, corporation. So RBI said 9% is minimum. Less than that, we will not allow. That's why base rate is always calculated. Also to make sure there is a transparency maintained. Or else what will happen? Vijay Mallya will get a 3%, Shahid Hashmi will get a 30%. So there has to be some transparency maintained, right? There has to be a level of giving discount also. Hi, sir. Collateral. What do you mean by collateral? The guarantee that you keep, right? Collateral is that guarantee that you keep. You call that as a collateral. Whenever you want to borrow loan, what happened, sir? Camera? Why are they worried about camera? Anyways, meeting is still running, right? Okay. Collateral is nothing but guarantee, right? Whenever you want to borrow loan, banks ask you a certain guarantee that you can give a certain kind of surety. Either you give it some surety, like you can give it gold or borrow money. You can keep house or borrow money, or any ways possible. Then there are corporate loans. What do you mean by corporate loans? The loans borrowed by L&T, Reliance, Kingfisher, Tata. These are called corporate loans. They are for a certain corporate purpose. L&T wants to construct Bangalore-Mangalore highway. For that, they borrow money. Reliance want to start a new oil industry, so they borrow money. And it's too big also. Like, it's not like 50, 30 lakh rupees. It's like 500,000, 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 crore. That's the reason in corporate loan, there is no guarantee taken. The guarantee is your balance sheet. How much profit you are making in a year, that is a guarantee. Because try to understand, when you want to borrow loan for a bike, there can be a guarantee. But when you want to borrow 30,000 crore, what can be a guarantee of 30,000 crore? It has to be something that is more than 30,000 crore. Right? So that's why in corporate loan, there is no question of guarantee. If they look at your balance sheet, acha, this company is good, they are making profit, they have a very well established brand in the country, then they'll give the loan. That's what happened in the case of Vijay Mallya. They gave the loan, Anna Bond ran away. Loan also went out. But that was a scam also. They gave him too much loan. Got it? Okay. Now, how are corporate loans borrowed? One is they can borrow from bank. But oh, they want to look me so badly. Yeah. So corporate loan, if you observe, they can borrow from bank. Sometimes what happen, one bank will not have money, so two, three banks will together come and they'll give money to Reliance. Make sense? Then they can borrow from public directly in the name of debenture. What is it? What is it? What is it? Debenture. What is debenture? Debenture is nothing but I borrow from public and I guarantee them fixed return. I make profit or loss, but I'll give you return. So for an example, I borrow 1 lakh from all of you. So there are, let's say, 30 people in the class. I borrow 30 lakh rupees and then tell sir every month 5% I'll give you. That's called debenture. That's called debenture. Then they can borrow from in the form of shares. What do you mean by share? Let's say there is a company which is of 100 rupees. Now tell me, you will only tell me, I won't tell. Economics is very easy. If I put 10 rupees here, how much percentage of share I get? If the share value is 1 rupee per share, 10%, it's understood. So easy, right? 100 rupees the company, 10 rupees I put, I get 10 rupees. So share, tomorrow let's see, this 100 rupees become 200 rupees. How much will be my 10 rupees will become? 20 rupees. This is how share market will work. So what they do, sometimes they divide 100 into 100 shares. They can divide 100 into 1000 shares by making one share value of 1 paisa. They can divide 100 rupees into 10,000 also. It's up to them. It's up to them. Right? It depends. For an example, my company is 10,000 crore. Obviously, I cannot give one share 1 crore rupees. No one will buy. So what will I do? 10,000 crore, I'll have 1 lakh shares. Each share value having probably 1 lakh rupees. Then I can get, anyone who has 1 lakh rupees can invest. It can be divided into further smaller intervals. I mean, it's like 100 rupees can become 10 rupees, 10 notes. 1 rupee, 100 parts. 50 paisa, 200 parts. 25 paisa, 400 parts. Same way they can go on doing it. Or it can become 1 paisa, 1000 part also. So that's how share market, there is the money. That is what we call share market. Any doubt till here? Ask doubt. Don't worry. I'm not going to kill you. You should ask doubt if you have doubt. Our online students, oh, there is already one question. There is one question in the matter on repo rate. When RBI reduces repo rate, bank can lend loan at less rate. Let's see, let's wait for some time to reach at that topic. The topic is still far away. Please explain again shares. See, very simple idea that when they want to borrow from public in terms of share, Let's say there is a company called ABC. Ah, ABC has total 100 rupees. Each share value is 1 rupee. So that means 100 shares. Now anyone who has 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupee can buy 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 shares. That is what you mean by shares. I hope we are clear. Zoom meeting is not responding. Great. Now, the next topic, evolution of various sectors of economy. Prior to, yeah, please come back. Evolution of various sectors of economy, they are also important. Try to understand one by one. Prior to industrial revolution, we know about industrial revolution, right? When mechanization came into picture, steam engine was invented, machine was invented, that is it what we call is industrialization. Prior to industrialization, we had everything made from natural resources. Before the invention of machines, everything used to be from natural resources. And that example like wheat, paddy, tomato, potato, whatever it is, we call that kind of sector as primary sector. When you try to make things from directly natural resources, you call that as primary sector. Example, Agriculture, cotton, wheat, any fruits, anything that is basically your agriculture. Another example, fisheries. Tomorrow they gave you which of the following are part of primary sector. Agriculture, true or false? Fisheries, true or false? Milk, true or false? Cotton, true or false? Stone quarrying, true or false? Why? Stone is not natural. Please understand, the quarrying of the stone may require machines. I am talking about stone quarry, which is a natural resource. A lot of people confuse here. That's why I ask. Right? I may require machines. I might even be blasting for that quarry. That is not my tension. I'm not asking what I'm using for it. I'm telling, will that come as a part of primary sector? Yes, because stone, natural. That also means mining. A lot of people confuse. Mining is again a primary source, primary sector. Why? Because we directly take it from ground. Coal, primary sector, because we directly take it from ground. So that means these are the things that we call it as a part of primary sector. Yes or no? Clear? Now, what are the features of primary sector? They are the activities taken directly from natural sources. The products are natural. Which includes fishing, quarrying, forestry, agriculture, mining, dairy farming. These are all considered as primary sector. Agriculture is one of the component of primary sector. But sometimes we use interchange also. We use agriculture sector, service sector and agriculture sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. That's still fine. But agriculture is one of the component of primary sector. Clear? Everyone? Any doubt? Yes, sir. Natural directly, right? The money taken from mining might be mentioned in secondary sector. But mining itself is a primary sector. Right? They might have given the contribution of mining industry. Mining industry is a different thing altogether. You understood? Mining industry means you use machines and all, then you can put it in secondary. We are talking about purely mining. Clear? Any doubt? Secondary sector. Whatever you get from primary sector, they sometimes need to be changed in one or other forms. Yes or no? Right? You get tomato. Tomato has to be converted into tomato sauce. And for that you require machines. Machines means secondary sector, manufacturing. I have got cotton. From cotton I have to manufacture shirts. Manufacturing, secondary sector. I have got bauxite ore. Bauxite ore has to be converted into iron and steel or copper. Then secondary sector, where machines are involved, which helps the primary sector to get converted into some better form. We call that as a secondary sector as well as manufacturing sector. Understood? Primary or agriculture, secondary or manufacturing. So tomorrow they might give you agro processing industry, primary or secondary? Secondary. Right? Steel factory, primary or secondary? Secondary. Oil plant, primary or secondary? Oil plant, secondary. Still, we take oil, convert it into petrol and diesel. Clear? You see, cotton to cotton shirts. from earth to bricks, right? We convert it, we manufacture bricks. Iron ore to steel. Then the third comes what we call is tertiary sector. What do you mean by tertiary sector? Services. There is tomato, primary sector, that is agriculture sector. Tomato to tomato sauce, secondary sector. Tomato sauce, they do advertisement, right? Have you seen Pepsi advertisement? Gutuk, gutuk, gutuk and all they drink. Sound will also come. In reality, that sound is not there. That's an advertisement. That is your tertiary sector. It helps you to sell your products. Yes or no? You have seen this, right? It's very common. Advertisement is very common thing. Right? Suddenly you get up in the morning, you're standing in front of a mirror. Use Colgate to become attractive. For that Colgate, salt might be from primary. Salt to Colgate paste is secondary. Colgate to that weird lady and Ranveer Singh dancing is tertiary sector. Film, movies, tertiary sector. Teaching, tertiary sector. Lawyer, tertiary sector. Software, banking, tertiary sector. Doctors, tertiary. Right? Doctor do not manufacture people. Right? They help people for the disease. Understood now? So whatever you have, insurance, software, beauty salon, they are all called tertiary sector. Right? And we also call it as service sector. Teaching, law, or whatever it is, we call it as service sector. So tomorrow, I give you a question. Which of the following are good example of tertiary sector? You get a now? What are tertiary sector? Teaching, law, advertisement, marketing. Remember Shah Rukh Khan coming and selling you, the tablet, right? As if he is a PhD in mathematics, but still tertiary sector. You see, right? That's how advertisement marketing works. Clear? Teaching, doctor, lawyer, bank, all come under tertiary sector. Transportation. Transport vehicle might be manufacturing, but transportation and logistic, tertiary. Transportation, logistic companies, DHFL, Blue Dart. Transport is again tertiary. Tourism and hospitality, tertiary. Tourism and hospitality, tertiary. Telecom, BSNL, connecting India, tertiary sector. Why it is a service sector, right? So this is what you mean by no one uses BSNL nowadays, but still tertiary. Warehousing, after GST, warehousing got increased, right? You are neither a manufacturer, you are not a primary producer. You just have a warehouse, you give it for rent. Service, tertiary sector. Construction of warehouse might be a manufacturing, but giving a warehouse is tertiary sector. Now comes the most interesting concept in the economy. We call it as GDP. What do we call it? Now, some people say Indian economy is doing good. Some say Indian economy is not doing good. Some say economy should improve, some say economy should not improve. Yes or no? How do they measure economy is the question. To tell Indian economy is not good or bad, some measurement should be there, right? For an example, our brother here. I said, sir, you are a hero in mathematics. There has to be some measurement, right? Either he should have scored good in maths, or he should be able to solve problems in maths, or maybe he is related to Einstein. Simply, if I say, sir, you're good in maths, will it make sense? What is the validation of your data? You make sense, sir, right? Same way, to measure economy, we have one important concept called GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product. What do you mean by GDP? Let's try to understand. We have time to break? Yeah. What do you mean by GDP? Gross domestic product. The
Everyone, please wait for 5 minutes. There is some technical issue. Sir will, sir will come in 5 minutes.
होस्ट बनाने के लिए बोलो. मेरे को होस्ट बनाने के लिए बोलो. Construction comes in manufacturing sector. Now, So the total value of all the goods and services produced in a country in a given year is what we call GDP. My service, let's see, per hour I charge 3,000 rupees. So that also you include. So total value of all the goods and services produced in a country in a given year. Three important things to remember. Point number one, the total value of all the goods and services. That means second-hand goods are not included in GDP. Two important, point number two to remember, it has to be in a particular year. You cannot say GDP of the country is good in last 10 years. You have to calculate that per year, how much, then take an average and then tell. You cannot simply say GDP is good. You need to mention that year. That's why in newspaper you see that 2021 India GDP will grow by only 5%. Gross domestic product. And it has to be within the country. That means anything that is produced outside the country is not taken as a GDP calculation. For an example, if Mukesh Bhai, you know Mukesh Bhai? Ah, right? The de facto prime minister of the country. So if Mukesh Bhai is producing some chocolates in Indonesia, it's not considered a part of GDP. It has to be in our country, which includes obviously the country extended over sea also. Understood? It's not only about land. Country also have a borderline over the sea, right? So total value of all the goods and services produced in a country in a given year is what we call gross domestic product. Now the question comes, why is paper telling India's GDP will grow only by 5%? What they do is that in 2019, if the GDP was 100 rupees, in 2020, if the GDP became 106 rupees, that's why they say GDP will grow by 6%. They calculate over a base year. If I tell that, sir, you have done very well in polity, that means there is some reference point, and that reference point is the exam that I have taken for you. If I took a polity exam, in that you score 90%. Next month again I took polity exam, you score 96%. I can tell, sir, you have improved a lot, almost 10% improvement, because I have already have a reference year. So in GDP also you required a base year. On the basis of that year, they will tell India's GDP has grown 10% from last year. India's GDP might also grow negatively. What do you mean by negative? Will that mean instead of producing products, I am killing products? No, 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 no. It means this year it was 106. In 2021, it will be 90. You see, there is a minus 10, right? So that's why I'm telling you that India's GDP will, have a decline of minus 10%. It's still growing only. There cannot be a negative GDP. That's impossible. Negative GDP means you have to kill everything what you have right now. That's not possible, right? We always produce. Negative GDP growth will be there. And negative GDP growth means it was 100, from 100 you have got 90 this year. So 10% decline has happened. That is what you mean by negative GDP growth. Clear? Sir, clear? Pakka? Ask doubts now. Which embassy? Well, let's not go into that detail. That will confuse foreign embassies in different countries. First of all, they don't produce anything. Foreign embassy, what revenue they make, you tell me? There are IFS officer there. There are government officer. Do they make any money? So let's not even confuse about it. Foreign embassy doesn't make any money, right? Have you seen any foreign embassy giving money to India? Let's say India has an embassy in UK. Do they sell some chocolates there? So leave it. Let's not confuse about it. In GDP, we won't calculate. We'll calculate in GNP. GNP I'll do next. So your nation, your Ambani, your Vijay Mallya, your Shah Rukh Khan, when they earn money outside the country, we don't consider that as a part of GDP. We will consider that as a part of GNP. That is the next topic. For GDP, it has to be within the borders of this country. I'll take your topic a little bit extra. There are also foreign countries, foreign companies working in India, right? There is Hyundai, there is Microsoft, there is Apple, there is Honda. So many world companies are working in India, right? We will take that under GDP. We will not take that under GNP because GNP has to be by Indians. Doesn't matter. Hyundai, Japanese company, fine. Samsung, South Korean, fine. You are working in my country. I will take the total value of all the goods and producers in our country in a given year. How to calculate GDP is not of a part of your syllabus. Neither you try to calculate. It is impossible. You might have to jump in Arabian Sea. Tomorrow, don't ask me, sir, I want to calculate my country's GDP. I will give you RBI address. You go to Mumbai and go to RBI. Don't come to me. That's not their syllabus. That requires, you imagine, such a big country, 125 crore people, thousands of industries, lakhs of agriculture. Probably millions of people are teaching right now. There is a way to calculate that. So let's not go into detail. They calculate perfectly only. There are always some error, but they have a way to calculate. But that's not a part of our syllabus. Before it happened, one student came, sir, I want to calculate GDP. I wrote there, please go to RBI. What can I do? I cannot calculate GDP. I know what is GDP. Clear? Any doubt? So GDP should grow or should not grow? Should grow or should not grow? Why? More employment or developing to develop, or if GDP is there, money is there. If money is there, taxes are there. If taxes is there, government will construct road, internet, railway, metro, electricity. If GDP is there, employment is there. Employment is there, you will do job. If there is no GDP, no employment, what will you do? You will pay PUBG. People have to give an employment, sir, or else they'll become jobless. If GDP is there, standard of living will improve. If GDP is there, poverty can be eradicated. We are a poor country, right? There is a poverty. We know that there are certain section of the society who does not have technical knowledge to work. We need to support them. And for that, we require money. That money has to come from GDP. Standard of living will improve. Poverty eradication might take place. Country will develop. And for a developed country, GDP is important. Although there are still some debates about is the GDP correct representation of the economy, that debate we won't see it today. We will see it in the later classes. Because GDP can be good even if one country is, even if one guy is making money. Yes or no? Doesn't need all the guys to make money. If Ambani is making money, still the calculation will come good only. Yes or no? So we'll see that later. Any more doubts? Understood the idea of GDP? Gross domestic product. I give you a question. Which of the following statements are true about GDP? If GDP grows, employment will grow. True or false? If GDP grows, government will make more money. True or false? If GDP grows, tax collection will grow. True or false? If GDP grows, development will take place. True or false? Clear? If GDP grows, India will attack China. True or false? Utter false. Right? This is WhatsApp knowledge, which should be avoided at any time. Clear? So we'll take a break. What's the time? 6:30. We'll take a break for 15 minutes. Assemble back at 45. Any doubt you can ask.
Everyone, it's a break time. We'll be back soon in 15 minutes.
हाँ, तो 6 hours। अच्छा, ऐसे ही आवाज आ रही है ना अच्छी। देखो चेक चेक, कितनी अच्छी आ रही है। फिर प्लग करो मोबाइल में। उमर, आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ आ रही हुई।
बीच में कट हो रही थी क्या?
यस।
आप बराबर है आवाज?
हाँ बराबर है, थोड़ा गूंज रही है एकदम, रिवर्बरेशन हो रहा है।
बगैर इससे बात कर रहा हूँ, बगैर माइक के।
हाँ उसको बगर माइक के भी अच्छा ही आ रहा आवाज।
नहीं, हाँ, मैं मिला था तो क्लास में यहाँ है। अब बराबर आ रही है आवाज?
लेकिन बहुत कम है,
आवाज कम आ रहा है।
बहुत कम है। वो आप माइक को हाथ में पकड़ के बोल सकते हैं।
अब देखो बराबर आ रही है।
हाँ अब आ रही बराबर। कुछ बोलोगे?
ये लेफ्ट साइड का सर, राइट साइड। अब बराबर आ रही।
हाँ अब बराबर आ रही।
चेक चेक 1 2 3, बेनेड्रिल हमें दे, खांसी से आराम। 2 बेनेड्रिल हमें दे, जुकाम से आराम। हमारी आवाज
आ रही आवाज, अब आ रही, सही है।
पक्का आ रही?
हाँ अच्छा आ रही।
The value of final goods and service produced in all the country.
वहां से आपका माइक्रोफोन का आवाज थोड़ा कम कर सकते हैं क्या बरो?
एक
सेटिंग
मिनट
में
करो,
माइक्रोफोन का जो,
माइक्रोफोन आवाज कम करो। एक
हाँ
मिनट, उसको कम करो।
अच्छा मीडियम
ये
रखो,
हेडफोन्स का है ना?
बैकग्राउंड जो नॉइस है ना
हाँ।
उसको
अब
लो
बराबर है?
करो। हाँ
अब बराबर है?
अब बराबर है।
अब ज्यादा हो रही क्या?
अब ज्यादा हो रही।
अब और ज्यादा हो गई क्या?
अब जरा ज्यादा हो गई।
तो कम करूं?
कम करिए कम करिए।
अब बराबर है?
हाँ बराबर, अब सही एकदम क्लियर है।
ठीक है।
ठीक।